So we have a revenue function. We're supposed to determine the value of alpha needed to have an average revenue of $20 when x equals 10. So look, if you need an average amount, what you would do is you'd add up all the different amounts and then divide by how many you have, right? So that's what R of x can do for us. It can calculate how much revenue we have, but we need to divide that by the amount that we're talking about. So this is average revenue, right? So if you had let's see, maybe this is scores. Maybe this is goals over an entire season for a team. One person has 1 goal, one person has 3 goals, one person has 7 goals, one person has 5 goals. Add them all up. That's what this part is. And then divide by the number of players. That calculates an average, a mean, right? So if we plug in what R of x is, we don't know what alpha is yet, but we can figure it out. Then we can simplify. It's 6x to the third over x minus alpha x squared over x. And those can cancel out to make 6x squared minus alpha x. So that's a function that represents our average revenue. So what would the value of alpha need to be to have an average revenue of $20? So this is average revenue. We want the average revenue to be equal to $20 when x is 10. So 20 equals 6, 10 squared minus alpha 10. And then to simplify, that's 600 minus 10 alpha. You can subtract 600 from both sides. And then to finish getting alpha by itself, just divide both sides by negative 10. So that alpha needs to be 58. Okay? So I got an alpha of 58 for this one. Same type of thing for this one. They want us to calculate the average cost when x is 2. So we need a function for the average. C AVG, that's C of x divided by x for the same reason that we talked about above. So it's like negative x to the third plus 7x squared minus 10x, divide everything by x. And negative x to the third divided by x is negative x squared. 7x squared divided by x is 7x. Negative 10x divided by x is negative 10. There's our average function, and they want it when x is 2. So it just means we go and plug 2 in for every x that we see. So that's negative 4 plus 14 minus 10. 14 minus 10 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 0. So it looks like the average cost is 0. One more here. Which value of x is the average cost at a maximum? So we need a function for the average cost. Remember, that's where we do c of x divided by x. So that's negative x to the third plus 7x squared, because this is what c of x is, minus 10x all over x. And then when you simplify, that's negative x squared plus 7x minus 10. That's the average cost. When is this at a maximum? This is a quadratic, right? Or the other way of doing it is you could use differentiation. You could take the derivative. This is the derivative of the average cost. That's negative 2x plus 7. And then set the derivative equal to 0. By doing that, you're finding the horizontal tangent. Look, this is a quadratic where a is negative, so that means it's going to look something like this, right? So if you're setting the derivative equal to 0, you're finding out the horizontal tangents when it's leveled off and it's about to come back down. That would be the maximum for a quadratic. Or you could just solve it using the vertex formula, whatever you're comfortable with, I guess. But this is calculus, so that's the calculus way of finding the maximum for a quadratic. If you solve that equation, you get x is 7 over 2. Okay, so that's when the average cost is at a maximum, when x equals 7 over 2.